Today, we have the third segment of the Dirty 30 with J.O.2. As you know, this is how it goes. If you're a new subscriber, of course, subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that bell so you can get notifications and alerts whenever I post my videos. If you're listening to me through an audio form, follow, subscribe, whatever platform that's on, so you get those notifications so we can keep these episodes rolling out. Without further ado, this is the Dirty 30 Part 3. First talking topic of the day. Who's your favorite artist recently? Recently. That's a difficult question, man. That's been popular, opposite of what a lot of people believe. There's been some decent artists that have came out in the music industry in the last 6 to 7 years. You just have to find them. A lot of the mainstream music is just cookie cutter, copy and paste. So it's not as decent as, say, mainstream music from the 2000s and 10s, 2000s, so on and so forth. But there's been some decent artists. So if I have to say favorite artist, it's not really an artist. I have a camp of artists, and that's the Griselda camp, straight out of upstate New York, Buffalo. That's Benny the Butcher, 38 Special, Conway, West Side Gun, and all them cats that's up there. I mean, they bringing back the golden era hip hop, straight from the underground scene. I mean, everything they do sound like it comes straight out the 90s, but it's got a reinvented taste to it, so it doesn't feel repetitive. It doesn't feel like some shit that, I don't want to hear this shit because I heard this shit in 93, right? Nah, it's got that new type of feel to it with that old school feel as well. And that's hard to do, especially in this new age where most people, they don't give a fuck about hearing nothing about real bars. They don't care about hearing nothing about real life. They just want to hear some shit they can party to. And I get that. If you're 18, 16, 22, you're young. What the fuck do I want to hear about life shit, right? Well, get ready because it's coming. But, on the real though, I'd have to say the Griselda camp is, they're definitely, top of the line right now for me. In the last 6 years, Lil Baby's probably, of the newer mainstream artists, he's probably my favorite. He talks that real. You really got to listen to not just his radio stuff, because he's got radio stuff that's all right, but his underground, his deep cuts in his album, that's where you really get into, his better music. So if you don't listen to Lil Baby, check him out. If you do, of course, keep pumping them. I support all artists. I support all people that's out there pushing their art. That's dope as shit. So yeah, Griselda camp, Lil Baby. And if I'm gonna round it out and add another artist in there, I like what the fuck is his name? I'm drawing a blank, guys. Damn. Roddy Ricch. I like Roddy. Yeah, I think Roddy. I like his melodies. He, last album wasn't as good as his first album. Of course, that first album was, it broke through and crushed a lot of barriers. The Box, that song still slides to this day. But I mean, he's definitely puts out good music, and he's a solid artist. And I'm curious to see what he does in the future. So shout out to Roddy. Hope he keeps doing his thing. With that being said, let's go to the next talking topic. Who are your top 5 favorite rappers of all time? Now, this right here is a loaded question if I've ever seen one. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. I mean, my top 5 favorite rappers, it changes every week. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I wrote a list down that I'm looking at, and I'm telling you, I kind of want to interchange some people because I left some people out. I mean, it's hard to make a top 5, man, especially when you're a hip-hop historian like me. I love rap all the way from its inception to now. I mean, I know almost everything I can about it, So, that being said, I'll give you my top 5. Starting out at 5 and working up. This is going to be controversial, but I'm going J. Cole. J. Cole, of course, as you know, NC native, just like me. I remember the first time I heard J. Cole, I was in the, I want to say, what was I, in the 6th grade? I want to say it was around the 6th grade, so it was 2010. And he had just dropped, I want to say it was the warm-up. And he remixed that Dead Presidents on there. And I just remember, I was like, man, who in the hell is this motherfucker? Like, because you don't get on a Hove beat. You don't get on a Legends beat and not do it justice. I mean, that's just, to me as a rapper and as anybody I feel like who's a rap historian, that's disrespectful. That's like me getting on Lil Wayne, one of Lil Wayne's beats and not absolutely ripping it, because you know what he gonna do with it, right? So yeah. I remember the first time I heard J.O.2 was in like the 6th grade on that Dead Presidents beat, and I was just like, oh, this guy got it. I mean, he's the truth, you know. And then I slowly, as he, you know, dropped more, I became a J. Cole fan till, you know, where we're here today. He's one of my top 5 artists at the moment, anyways. So yeah, J. Cole number 5. Coming in at number 4, Biggie. Boom, 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 boom. This goes out to you and you and you, Biggie. It's Biggie Smalls, man. I mean, what need I say more? One of the probably, honestly, he might be the first rap artist that I truly was like, man, I listened to everything that he put out. Because my mom was born in the, she was born in the 80s, but her, you know, her heyday was in the 90s. So she grew up with the 90s rap, you know, the Nas's, the Biggies, the Tupacs, Jay-Z's and all them. So she used to have, this is back, and this is, might be before some of y'all's time, you know, we used to have LimeWire when you had to burn the CD and then write down the songs on the CD. Y'all remember that? So I remember I was young and she just had a list of songs on LimeWire, and I'd go in there and she had a CD burning. We'd put the CD in there, and I burned most of Ready to Die, and I just remember I used to spin that joint. That's when you had the what are they called? The Walkman, the CD Walkmans. That shit where they would scratch up if you dropped it, man. If you drop that fucking Walkman, you're done. You're not listening to no music for the day, and you better hope you got some more CDs, but you better stop dropping it because you're wasting CDs. CDs used to cost a good amount of money back in the day. For real. CDs used to be taxed. So you couldn't just keep fucking up a CD. You know, I used to not be able to listen to music. My mom like, you keep fucking up CDs, you're not going to listen to songs. So I'm like, I had to start taking care of my CDs. That's beyond the point. Point is, I used to burn the CDs and listen to Biggie on there. So he's he's easily one of the most influential rappers in my life and in hip hop in general. And it's just crazy that he didn't live past his mid-20s. I mean, that's, to have that influence and be around my age, I couldn't even imagine. So shout out to Biggie, R.I.P. to a legend. And to another legend, of course, on the other side. We went from the East Coast. Now we're going to bounce out to the West for a minute. Tupac. It's Tupac. I mean, come on, man. Tupac is probably one of the, if not the most passionate rapper you ever will hear. Him, I'd say it's between him and X. Rest in peace to both of them guys. But between him and X, they're two of the most passionate rappers you will ever hear. I mean, just every word you felt it, right? And that's something that really resonated with me as a kid, because you could feel it. You could feel everything he was saying. I never felt like, oh, this guy's he's capping. Even if he was capping. And as I've gotten older, that's some shit I've peeped. I'm like, he probably wasn't doing all that. But you felt it. So he made you feel it. So it didn't matter, you know? And that's why Pac, to me, is just one of those. He's one of those artists that's once in a generation. And he's got to be in your top 10. If he's not in your top 10, I worry about your top 10, to be real. For real. So, that being said, that's Pac's at 3, Biggie's at 4, J. Cole's at 5. Coming in at number 2. Now, this one, 2 and 1 is hard. These are the hardest positions to rank, strictly based off the fact that either one of these guys could be number 1. But if I have to give the number 2 spot to anybody, coming in barely behind the number 1 spot is Lil Wayne. Lil Louisiana. Man, his lyrical ability is just fucking baffling. I still listen to songs that I grew up with, and I hear new shit, and I'm like, how the fuck how did that slip past me? I'm 25. I've been listening to these songs for 15 years. How the hell did it slip past me, right? He's got an ability to say the wildest shit and make it connect somehow. And it's just, I mean, he's like a machine, man. I mean, who in hip hop had a run like him ever? He had, 3 separate eras. He had a run from the late 90s to the early 2000s, from the mid 2000s into the 2000s and 10s, right? So that's at 2 runs. He's had 2 solid, I'm talking about, monumental runs. Nobody could touch him. The Carter series, all the way into his mixtape era. And then that's just in the That's just in his album era. It's not even talking about his mixtapes because we already know ain't nobody's nobody. And I don't care who you put up, nobody has put out the amount of mixtapes with the amount of content and quality that Lil Wayne has. That shit was unbelievable. I can't even believe I was alive to experience and witness that in my lifetime, but I'm glad I was. Because, yeah, man, what the Drought series, it's just so fucking many, man. I mean, it's crazy. Shout out to Lil Wayne, a living legend. God bless him. Y'all keep and protect Lil Wayne because we need him around for a little bit longer. That's for real. But with that being said, we have Lil Wayne at 2, Tupac at number 3, Biggie at 4, and J. Cole at 5. Rounding out my top 5 rappers, the number 1 spot, if you know me, you already know who it is. It's Jigga, nigga. Jay-Z, number 1 rapper to me of all time. I mean, and with Jay, it's just he almost transcends rap, right? He's one of those artists where his music, if you really look at the charts, it never sold crazy. I mean, of course, he went platinum, which that's an achievement in itself. He's had what I think 13 platinum albums. I think damn near every album he's dropped went platinum. But like if you're talking about sales, he's not on like a Drake level. He's not on a he's not on his wife's level if we're talking about sales. But he transcends all that because his stories were just it's so real, and he paints the picture so vivid that if you grew up in any type of situation like that, or even that just resembles that, you can feel it. And he just paints that picture so well to a point where it's like, you don't have to sell. I don't need you to sell 1 million. I mean, hell, some of the biggest artists in the world, Garth Brooks. I ain't listened to a Garth Brooks song. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I know nothing about Garth Brooks. Okay, he may be the shit, but I wouldn't know. But I know Jay-Z ain't sold as many albums as many records as Garth Brooks, and that motherfucker is still the best to me. So that's all I know about that. So yeah, we're gonna say J1, Wayne 2, Pac 3, Biggie 4, and J. Cole 5. That's rounding out my top 5 favorite rappers of all time. With that being said, we're gonna go to the next talking topic. So this question I actually received off of my Instagram. I can't remember who sent it in, but they said, I know you like old school music. Where should I start if I'm new to the old school? That's a great question. I'm glad somebody, listen, before I get into that question and answer that, because it's going to take a little bit, I want to say this. If you have any music questions, you can send them to me because I love talking. I can talk about music, sports, entertainment. I can talk about that all day. So like I say before, I receive these questions off of my Instagram, off of my Twitter, off of my TikTok, off of my Snapchat, off of any of my social media platforms. So if you're watching a YouTube video, I'll put my links in the description. If you're not, follow me on Instagram at JAY_ONEIL. That's my Instagram. Follow me on Twitter at TBG_ONEIL. That's my Twitter tag. Follow me on TikTok at J.O.2. That's my TikTok. And what else am I missing out in there? TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Follow me at CLIFF_PAUL, 2. That's Cliff_Paul2. Follow me on Snapchat, on any of those social medias, and you can send me in any questions you want, and I promise you I will answer them because this is what I like to do. With that being said, let's get back into that question. Where should you start if you're new to the old school? Man, where should you start? Anywhere. I would personally start in the 70s. And I'm specifically big on, that funk, that disco, that club era of music. That's kind of what I grew up hearing. That's what I'm used to. So some of the artists you might want to look for is Al Green, Teddy Pendergrass. Let me see who else. Man, there's so many. I said Al Green, Teddy Pendergrass, Curtis Mayfield, Bobby Womack, the Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Who else, man? You listen to Smokey. Smokey's from the 60s, but he made some hits in the 70s as well. So check out Smokey Robinson. I mean, man, there's just so many talents and acts. But that right there, if you listen to those few artists, that should get you started in that realm of that 70s and classic throwback. Listen, that's what you play when you on a Sunday drive. You got the drop top, or you got the sunroof with the sunlight shining through it. You just press the button, get the top missing, let the sunlight shine through the sunroof, and you just play that cruising down the road with your girl, or you can do it solo, because I'll be riding solo and just loving it, right? So that's that type of music. Very good, wholesome, good feel good music. To add on to that, the next area you want to look into is the next decade, the 80s. The 80s is full of a lot of it's not disco, but what are they called? Like club music, kind of like up tempo. You know, the Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Prince, Madonna. I mean, there's so many huge talents from that, huge acts from that time that came along and shaped the history of music as we know it. So definitely get into some of those artists, and that should get you started on the 80s. 90s. I mean, we kind of, I talked about this, I believe it was last week or 2 weeks ago, about which decade had the best music, and they're all fire. But the 90s, of course, if you're too young to know about the 90s, well, I'm gonna inform you. The 90s was a revolutionary time for R&B music. That R&B hip hop fusion really changed the way we make music today. I mean, if you really listen to it, a lot of R&B music, uses the drums, the 808s, the patterns. A lot of that's hip hop. A lot of hip hop incorporates R&B music now. It's kind of meshed together in a way that it can be. Sometimes it can't be. You can't decipher between what's what. So 90s music, Aaliyah. God, there's so many. Let me see, Aaliyah. SWV. TLC, who else? Jodeci. Come on. Ooh, yeah. You can't. You got Jodeci. You got Boys to Men, and there's just so many. There's so many acts and talents from that era I can name. I literally couldn't think of all of them right now, but those few that I just named will get you started. So check them out. You may like them, you may not, but it's a good starting point for old school and throwback music. Now, speaking of music, as you all know, we do a segment on this podcast where I plug in undiscovered and underrated music talents. So, if you're undiscovered or underrated music talent and you want your music or, pushed, you want free promotion, because that's what this is, it's free promotion at the end of the day, I want you to send your songs into this email, JAMMIEONEIL2 @gmail.com. Again, that's JamieO'Neil2 @gmail.com. Send in your song. I'll pick the best song every week that's submitted to me, and it will be the feature song on next week's podcast. Now, without further ado, this week's feature song is by a little unknown group out of Morganton, North Carolina. They go by the name of Abstract Kingdom, featuring Alfioda 1. Again, that's Abstract Kingdom featuring Alfioda 1. The title of the song is 8 trigrams, 64 palms. I hope you enjoy. Let's roll. Yeah, and again, that was Abstract Kingdom featuring Alfioda 1. Name of that song was 8 trigrams, 64 palms. You can find that on every streaming platform. That's Spotify, Apple Music, the works. With that being said, let's get back into it. All right. Give me 1 second. Let me find, I get my shit right. All right. Next talking topic. The next talking topic is one that is absolutely mind-boggling to me. I can't even believe this. It genuinely happened. Now, I fell asleep, so I didn't get to watch it. It's a football game, of course. And if you watched football this past Sunday, you know who it is. The Holocaust in Denver, the massacre of Denver, and just in general. I mean, that's in college football, and I'm riding with Prime still. I don't care what nobody says. I'm a damn honorary bandwagon Colorado fan until Prime leaves. I'm being real with you. They got their ass whooped on Saturday, and then the big boys got their ass destroyed on Sunday, 70-20. Not even in hell would you see an ass whooping like that. 70-20? You couldn't stop them from scoring 70 points? Do you know if I played sports from I played sports from when I was 6 years old all the way up until I graduated high school. I never got beat by 50 points in nothing. Never. Now we came close a few basketball games, but that's basketball. Basketball, that shit can go up like that. Football, that's not supposed to happen. In football, most I ever got beat by was 40 points, which is that's not great. But there's a 10-point separation in there. You got beat by 50 points as a professional team? Does your defense got no shame? What the fuck is wrong with the Denver Broncos? Who's the defensive coordinator? He needs to be fired. Who's the whole defense needs to be fired. Do you know if I was the defensive, not the defensive coach, if I was the coach of the Denver Broncos, we wouldn't have done shit. This whole week leading up into the next game, we would have done nothing but run. I would have pulled this, RIP to my dog. Shout out to Coach Davis, James Davis. Was my 7th grade track coach. He coached my uncles and them before in football. As anybody knows who played under him, he ain't take no bullshit. Get beat like that, you're running. We would have ran heels, we would have ran suicides, we would have ran snakes, every type of run. He would have told you straight up, we're not even going to get any better. I just want you to run, just because you just need to run. You just need some discipline. Because apparently you don't have discipline on the field, so maybe this will give you some discipline. They got beat by 50 points as a professional team. There's no way in hell. There's no way in hell I would not take that. It was so disrespectful. That shit make me mad. And I don't even play on the team. I don't even like Denver. I don't know much about them. But man, 50 points in an NFL game is just unbelievable. Wow, it's just fucking crazy. So that's what I think about that. To answer the question, I think that shit is wow. I can't believe it. If it was my team, they'd be running right now today until Sunday. And then they would run on Sunday when they get out the game just so they don't forget how bad they got their ass whooped. Ridiculous. All right, next question. Oh, now this one. I like this one. This one's fun. Having your bills paid, is it a finesse or is it bum behavior? Is it a finesse or is it bum behavior? You let these new women tell it, oh, they finessing the game. They up. They doing what they supposed to be doing. Ain't that right, sis? Huh. Bum behavior. I believe that's bum behavior. You got somebody, and that's not just bum behavior because you got somebody paying your bills. It's what goes into it. You know what you're doing. Oh, I want this motherfucker to do it. Thought somebody was behind me. How the hell did you get in here? I knew something was behind me. But them roommate's dog them came in here. But I thought somebody was about to choke me out on live. I'm about to get active. I'm going to say, guys, I got to get back to you. What's up with you, dog? Anywho, that threw me off. Back on topic. It's bum behavior, man. It's bum behavior because you are actively finessing people into doing things for you. And you have no problem with it. Like, you don't have any morals. You don't have it. That doesn't bug you. That would bug me if someone was like, I'm going to pay everything for you. Like, no, you're not. As a grown man, though, that's how we're taught. We're taught to not let that happen. We don't do that. We don't do shit like that. You're not going to pay all my bills and think that everything's going to be all right. What's wrong with you? I don't understand that type of mind state. To me, it doesn't make sense. So, no, I think it's bum behavior all the way around. Anybody that does it, having another person pay your bills. But then thinking that you up. How the hell you have somebody pay your bills and you still broke? Now that's even worse. You got motherfuckers paying every bill for you and you can't even keep $100 in your pocket. And I know people out here that's doing that. And if you're listening to this podcast and you one of those people, change your life. Change your shit up. You're doing bad. You ain't got $100 to your name and you ain't got to pay a bill. What the hell are you doing? Where's your priorities at? You need some self-discipline. Shit is crazy out there, man. That's crazy. Yeah. Bum behavior. That's all I got to say about that. Last question of the day. Is monogamy cursed in 2023? No, it's not. But it's definitely harder. It's definitely harder to find somebody you genuinely want to be with because everybody has this mentality of finessing people, man. You know, it's all everything. I'm gonna get mine before they get theirs. I'm gonna do this before they do this to me. Like, no one just wants to admit that you're gonna have hard experiences in love, right? It's gonna be hard. You're gonna get your heart broke a few times. Anybody, everybody, it just happens. And that's been going on forever. But you have to sit in that. You got to figure out how you don't want to put yourself in that situation again and move forward from that. And then eventually, once you figure out yourself enough and know what you need in your life and know who can bring that to you, what type of people that is, you'll find somebody that's good for you, and y'all can be monogamous and y'all can be happy. You know, I think monogamy is not cursed. It's just we're so distorted by social media. It's got our minds scrabbled. So I think we got to really focus on what matters to us, what we're looking for, and we have to clearly state that and find somebody who has those same characteristics and ideals. And I think we'll be better, you know. So, yeah, I don't think monogamy is cursed. I think it's just a matter of you and figuring out you and who you want. Yeah, with that being said, guys, that is the end of this Dirty 30 with J.O.2. I hope you enjoyed. As I said before, send in any questions you want or any questions you would like me to answer into any of those social medias I previously listed. Again, if you're watching the YouTube video, subscribe, hit that bell so you can get notifications. If you're listening to the audio format, subscribe, and so you can get updates regularly when I post, which will be every Friday at 6 p.m. That's all I got to say today, guys. Hey, I hope you have a good day wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, and sit back, relax. If you got a little drink in your hand, enjoy that drink and just and chill. And with that being said, we gonna keep it dirty. Same time next week. Peace out.
Don't be scared. Dirty's in the air, boy. Don't be scared. We be that dirty. We be that dirty. We be that dirty.